Do you want a perfectly ordinary life or a life full of adventure? ULL. Find out if you watch this story about a poor boy named Charlie Bucket, who dreams of a better life until one day his mom buys him a Wonka chocolate bar. And inside it, he finds a golden ticket for a tour of the legendary Wonka factory. Hello, friends. A long time ago in a big city, there lived a kind and humble boy named Charlie Bucket. He lived with his mom and dad and 4 bedridden grandparents in a small, crooked house without any paint on the walls. Life was hard. Money was hard to come by. And every day Charlie had to walk past the gates of the majestic Wonka factory to go to school. And he dreamed of a life full of adventures like the ones he read about in books. But sadly, he was just a poor boy and his life was far from extraordinary. One day, Willy Wonka, the eccentric candy maker, announced a global contest. 5 golden tickets were hidden inside Wonka chocolate bars. Whoever found them would get an opportunity to win a tour of his legendary factory and a lifetime supply of chocolate. Thousands of children participated in the contest, but only 5 could win. Poor Charlie didn't even have enough money to buy 1 chocolate bar, so he walked around the city collecting discarded wrappers in the hope that maybe he'd find a golden ticket among them. But, alas, he was just a poor boy and his life was far from extraordinary. Until one day, Charlie's mom, who worked as a waitress at the local diner, gave him all the money she earned that week to buy himself a chocolate bar. And guess what? Charlie found the last golden ticket. Overjoyed, he shared his good news with everyone he knew. But then he had to choose someone to accompany him on the tour, and he chose his grandpa, Joe, because he never got to experience anything exciting in his life. The next day, Charlie and Grandpa Joe set off on a magical adventure. They boarded an enormous chocolate river, sailed past edible gardens, met nut-sorting squirrels, and were amazed by the mysterious Oompa-Loompas who welcomed them to the factory and sang, "Welcome to our land of pure imagination. Here you can be whoever you want to be, but don't even try to cause trouble here, because we won't stand for it." Soon, the other winners arrived. There was Augustus Gloop, a greedy boy who literally fell into the chocolate river and almost drowned. Then came spoiled Veruca Salt, who demanded to have a squirrel she liked, but it was declared a bad nut and fell down a trash chute. Next was Violet Beauregard, a competitive girl who turned into a giant blueberry after she tried to sneak a peek at the top-secret everlasting gobstopper machine. And finally, there was Mike TV, an arrogant gamer who got shrunk by a teleportation machine because he wanted to see what would happen. All the while, Willy Wonka behaved very strangely. He had odd flashbacks to his childhood, revealing that he had a strict dentist father who banned candy and never gave him any love or affection. But Wonka never lost control, always staying polite and calm. And when Charlie was about to get his prize, Wonka said, "You can have everything you want, including my chocolate factory, but you'll have to leave your family behind." Charlie refused, saying, "No, thank you. I don't want to be a rich man if it means leaving my family and friends." Wonka couldn't believe his ears. He had never heard a child refuse his prize before, and it made him realize that family is more important than anything. Suddenly, Wonka pulled something out of his pocket. It was a small photo of him as a kid with his dad, and it turned out that the old man in the photo was none other than the grumpy dentist who hated sweets so much. Wonka finally understood that his father wasn't a heartless man, but a lonely boy who never got to experience happiness. And in the end, Wonka made peace with his past and gave Charlie his chocolate factory. But Charlie didn't take over the factory. Instead, he asked his family to move in, and they all lived happily ever after. As for Wonka, he was so happy to have finally found someone like Charlie to carry on his legacy, and ensure that the magic of his factory would live on with kindness at its heart. Once upon a time, in a big city,